Welcome. In this video we are looking at DirBuster. So this is going to help us find hidden directories. So the objective is to examine how DirBuster functions so that we can understand how it works. So first thing what we do is we find a target, we do a work method, we set a word list. The default one is in user shares word list DirBuster, and then we run it and we wait to see what happens. DirBuster is a multi-thread Java application designed to brute force directories and file names on web application servers. Often is the case now when we're looking for a web server and a state is the default installation is not actually all of the content, and has pages and applications hidden within. So DirBuster attempts to find these hidden directories and files. DirBuster will search for hidden pages and directories on a web server. Sometimes the developers will leave pages accessible but unlinked. This could also be a security flaw. So let's jump into Kali and let's see what we do. So in Kali, go to Applications. You'll notice that first things first, it is not here. You actually have to search for it. DirBuster. And it's a GUI. So first things we want to do is type in a URL. So I'm going to go ahead and do www.hackthebox.eu. I want to set my work method to auto. Number of threads. Again, the more threads hounding it, the more the web server will slow down. If you don't have permission to do this, you don't want to set this. Like, you don't want to do it, it's illegal. But if you do set too many threads going after it, it will become noticeable. We can do a pure brute force for directories. However, this is going to take years. So if we do a list based, we can do a default list. And what's interesting is Kali has some default word lists in the user shares word lists location. And I'm doing DirBuster, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm doing the directory list 2.3 medium. That's going to find most subdirectories. And if you want to search in a specific directory, you can. If you want to be recursive, you can. So for what I'm doing, that is more than sufficient. So your target's not a valid URL. You must include things like a port number. So it wants you to actually list the protocols. So you have to write out all of it to www or http:// You could also list the port numbers instead, and it's going to run. You'll notice here we have a total requests, we have average speed, and the pull request is going to be the big thing. The larger the site, the longer this takes. It actually is not going without many errors, so that's kind of a good thing. So it completed, but it didn't find any directories. So that didn't quite work for us. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the scans. They're already completed. I'm going to go ahead and modify this. I'm going to go and do Google's site instead. And as it starts running, it's looking for an extension.php, which that can be ignored. It actually should start throwing errors once Google determines what we are trying to do. So it actually did find the error out. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stop it. It did not find any subdirectories. So I actually want to modify this. I just want to do google.com. And I don't care about the file extension. It could be anything. So use blank extension. Well, when I start the scan, it immediately starts finding directories. These are all subdirectories that are there. It does error out real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the scan. It found tons of errors, which that's totally acceptable for what we're doing, but it finds files and it finds directories. So DirBuster is a great way to see what type of directories that are actually there. And we can actually browse to them to see if they are functional. If we go to google.com/2004/. So it actually does have pages about 2001. So these are subdirectories that are there. We may not be able to access them, but we are seeing that they are present. Last one is docs. So we may not have permission to see them, but we can find them at least. So that is using our DirBuster in a nutshell. We got some exercises for practice. Let me know if you have questions.